I'm going to go through this kind of chronologically in terms of what happened throughout the week. So we started on Monday mornings with a jazz program online using Zoom for our video and using a program called Jamulus for our audio. So those are two different programs running at the same time. Sometimes they were run on different machines, but put Zoom on your iPad, put Jamulus on your computer. But they can work together on one machine, not a problem. So Jamulus is audio only. So what happens is Jamulus takes control of all the audio inputs and outputs on your computer. The challenge with that program is to get it set up correctly, to tell it to use the right inputs and the right outputs so that we can see and you can hear both ways, not see, sorry, hear both ways. So that was the challenge with Jamulus. So what it allows for is real-time music playing. The latency is essentially not any different than being across a large room from each other, or having that bass drum player play a little bit out of time, maybe. Not mentioning any names, of course. So that's kind of the experience that you get. You still actually have to, be responsible for your time, and you still have to listen to each other and understand how to play together. But because of the tech challenges in getting it set up, it sometimes becomes a bit of a barrier for some folks. I have a plethora of experience with it now. I'm happy to help those that need to get connected. We will provide some much more detailed documentation moving forward, and I will be available to help that setup stuff. In April, there was hardly any information online about Jamulus. Now there's chat groups and Facebook groups and all kinds of stuff. It's amazing the number of people that are using this platform from around the world. So on Monday mornings, we ended up having two groups, so we split ourselves in two different Jamulus bands, and I'm going to play a little bit of our ballad that we did in the 9 a.m. band, and this is called Angel Eyes. I'm just going to share my screen, and you should hear and see this lovely little program right now. That was our Monday morning group. There were actually 6 participants in that. We couldn't have everybody on that last session. So all that you saw there was actually our Zoom meeting. So you could see the boxes with people's names on them, so we knew who each other was. But you also then heard the feed from Jamulus. And what I did is I recorded the Jamulus feed, and then I just mixed it and balanced it a little bit so that it had a bit clearer sound. So that's one of the other benefit about Jamulus, is we can actually record things. So then we had another group on Monday mornings. Our second group, and these were just basically split in terms of instrumentation. This is the 1030 band, and you're going to hear this group play a song called Tenor Madness, which I will share with you right now. Check this one out just for a second. All right, so that was Little Tenor Madness, and you noticed that perhaps you heard a bass there and maybe another trumpet, and didn't see them. So sometimes folks that are a little more remote oriented, or their video isn't working that day, or whatever, the focus is on the audio, so we get Jamulus happening, and so sometimes you don't see everybody on the Zoom audio. So that was the jazz session on Tuesday. I have another one for you now on Tuesday. Sorry, Mondays. Pardon me. That was Mondays. So on Tuesdays we had a group we called the Popular Music Ensemble. That was mostly because I just came up with a name that I felt described the music we were playing. It was sort of more Broadway show tunes and things like that. But we also played a Beatles tune. And I would like to play you a little version of part of one of our Beatles songs called Get Back that we did. And this is from 2 Tuesdays ago. So this is like our eighth or ninth rehearsal. Uh, uh, so I think we had about 18 people at one point playing together. And this is what that looks like. One, two, three, go. All right, so that's the Tuesday morning group. Kind of fun. It's like a concert band. We had about 18 people. It can accommodate larger. Just depends on the instrumentation and whatnot. So that's the Jamula stuff. Just for a little quick clarity on that before I move on to the next thing, it does work better with an Ethernet connection. In fact, I should be saying it needs an Ethernet connection because then your sound is more stable. Because of the audio only portion for Jamulus, it sends very tiny packets. So that's why it works so well, because it sends little packets really, really fast. And sometimes that misses some of the Wi-Fi signal. Basically, that's kind of the layman way of saying it. So if you have an Ethernet cable, that's the way to go. You can get adapters for Mac and all those kinds of things off Amazon or wherever you need to get it for very, very, very cheap. And then it works much better. Yes, it works on Wi-Fi, but it does not have as good a quality of sound. Okay, so I just want to be clear about that. The best quality of sound you can get, the better the experience. Moving on to Thursday now. For Thursday, we did something we called a Zoom concert band. So what that meant was, sorry, I'm multitasking and not finding the window. There it is. I conducted into this camera right here and played audio at the same time, and they were in sync because I made it that way. But I also created it so that we could jump to different rehearsal markers, we could slow the audio down, we could talk about the same types of things we would talk about in a normal rehearsal where we're all in the same space. Except I didn't hear anything coming back. Everybody was muted and we just played along. And this is kind of what that looks like a little bit.
Mr. Gershwin, from the top. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One and two and 7.
What you see is I spotlight my video so I'm large on your screen. Okay, so that's what you see there. That's the Thursday morning thing. And of course, that can be open to anybody because I'm not hearing you back. So you can play whatever you want. You can play Jingle Bells at the same time if you really want to, but you're not going to learn as much of the music. So the benefit is you play at wherever level you are at. If you're getting this section and that section or the whole thing or just part of it, that's cool. But it's kind of a nice open and easily accessible experience. Then on Fridays, we had our Funk Bucket Ensemble. this is a little funk bucket, and this is the last thing I have to share with you. So, and just a quick note, there were 3 people away that day. So normally those empty chairs that you would see would be filled, and that's how that program is set up. That's all I have to say. If you have questions, please let me know.